And good afternoon, everyone. Hope everybody's having a great day. And that light is causing a bad glare. I'll have to figure that out later. Um, Maybe there's something else I can do. Anyway, we have a few people in the chat. Hello, Colleen. Hello, Shannon. And hello, David. I hope you guys are having a great day today. This is kicking off a new month for the recipe box, and also something else that's new is we will have a co-host, Bobby from Supper at the Family Table. And okay, that's the problem there. For some reason, my camera got messed up. Is that better? Anyway, she's going to be the new co-host for the recipe box. So we're excited to see what she has to bring and to offer. I know a lot of y'all fell in love with her during the month of March with Springing into Health. Hello, Virginia. I am so glad that you are able to join us today. I hope this new time works out for everyone. And yeah, Shannon, my brain ain't working. It took me a little bit to realize it was my camera that was out of whack. And needless to say, I see Bobby in the. She's lurking now, so I'm gonna bring her out in the open.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you? Sorry about that. My tripod fell apart at the last second, so we're having to make do with the little tiny one at the moment.
That's no fun.
I don't know
Oh,
what happened. I was getting it out and it just like fell into two pieces, and I was like, "Is my ring light?" And I was like, "Wait a minute, what just happened?" We tried to put it back together real fast, and it's not working out. So we'll have to do it this way for now. My setup is usually better, I promise.
yeah, it looks great. Everything falls apart at the last minute anyway.
I know that's usually how it works.
So I went in there and done my video for today, and I guess because I substituted Hardquick for Fire, they kind of
Yeah.
spread out on me and took more
Oh,
of the. It looks like a cheese strip instead of a cheese straw,
I'm
but they
sure it's
are good.
delicious.
They are good, and still it cuts down on carbs. So whether it's the right shape or not, it's perfect snack for me.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what cheese it is. I'm sure it's still delicious.
I am down 2.2 pounds so far.
Yay!
So I was excited about that. But anyway,
Hi, Colleen. Hi, Shannon. Hi. Thank
Kettle
y'all so much for
Kitchen.
watching.
Hello, Kettle Kitchen. Welcome in.
Hello.
I think that's the first time uh, I've seen you, but in one of the chats. But welcome to the recipe box. I think that Bobby is going to actually do some live cooking today.
I am. So, yeah, that should be fun.
Tony is from Washington, is that right?
From Washington, yes. Awesome.
Yeah. So he's just in live with two country girls that like to cook.
Yeah, we love to cook and food history and all that fun stuff. So,
Yeah.
we're here to share it with y'all. And I'm
So
going to make some. What?
I'm going to go ahead and let you do what you got going on.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna make some some meatloaf and some garlic mashed potatoes because meatloaf was a pretty big thing in the 1960s, pretty classic dish for that time. Kind of that kind of meatloaf and mashed potatoes would have been like a classic meal. It's kind of when the TV dinner came about, so that was probably one of those classics for that as well. But I'm gonna show you how I make my version today, and our favorite mashed potato recipe. My family always requests this; like they get excited when they hear mashed potatoes, and it's garlic mashed potatoes. So that's what we're gonna do.
Welcome in, Jen.
Hi, Jen. I'm gonna try to put you all down. Like I said, my setup's usually better than this, so please bear with me.
Well, it's
But
good.
the tripod tore up at the last second. So we are gonna make some meatloaf and mashed potatoes, and we're actually gonna do it in the crock pot. So this is gonna be really nice because I don't need this to be ready right now. Of course, I need it to be ready at like 6 or 7 or whatever. So I'm gonna make my meatloaf up, and then I'm gonna cook it in the crock pot. So I'm gonna start with our meat. So to make mine, I'm going to do it with about 2 pounds of ground meat. And I'm going to use ground deer. I do ground beef, do deer meat, do turkey, whatever. Most of the time my family doesn't know it, especially if they don't know what it is. They just eat it and it works out. So deer is what I have today. So I'm going to throw that in here. So again, 2 pounds of ground meat, and you can do 1 pound if you want. I need this meatloaf to feed like 6 people, so we're gonna go with 2 pounds, roughly, I think. Pretty sure this says 2 pounds of ground meat. Whatever it is, we're gonna make it enough. Well, I don't know if that looks. I turned it aside. I thought this said 2 pounds, but no, I think it says 21. I'm going to grab my turkey and add that in here. Hang on.
While she's getting ready, Shannon, if you don't mind dropping the link to her channel. Bobby has a channel. It's called Supper at the Family Table. And so make sure you check her channel out. She's got some great recipes and things going on.
All right.
Over there.
So I'm going to add that in there. I thought that was 2.5 pounds. That was my bad, but it said 21, not 2.5. So I'm going to add my meat. Again, you can do 1 pound, 2 pounds, depending on how many people you need to feed. It's totally up to you. And you can switch out the ground meat. And then I'm going to do salt and pepper. Of course. And this is just how my family likes meatloaf. So I'm not a fan of all meatloaf. I'm kind of picky, but this is how my mom made it, and I really like it this way. So we're going to do oregano in here, and some paprika, and garlic powder.
I still need to do my spice cabinet and then change it to a drawer like that.
Yeah, I really like it. The only thing I don't like is these little jars here.
Uh-huh.
That some of them don't hold a whole jar of spices. So some of them do. It's really weird. Like the garlic powder, it fits a whole jar of garlic powder, but the whole jar of oregano won't fit in here. And so it's really weird.
My spice cabinet is like the most narrowest cabinet in my kitchen. So everything.
Yeah, ours is very narrow too.
It's on my nerves.
And it's high, and it's like, yeah, it wasn't the most best situation. So this worked out a lot better. So we're going to add that, and we're going to add 1 egg. You could do a couple if you want. I usually just do 1. Works out. And then we're going to do some crackers in here. We're going to do some ketchup, and we're going to do some onion and some peppers. So where's my onion here? I got to chop that up. So we like to do onion. Now my family likes onion in it. I don't like big chunks of onion. I just don't. I know.
I'm
It's
with
weird. Most people don't, but I don't like big chunks of onion. So my goal when we do this, my mom would always chop it up super tiny. So like
I want to crunch
try to
onion. That's my.
I'm sorry,
I want to crunch an onion.
Yeah, I try to cut it up as little as I possibly can, so I don't know what's in there. Because I'm not a huge fan of big chunks of onions.
Hello, Amy. Welcome in. Tony, I have wanted to start doing some jams and jellies or preserves. I haven't got around to it yet. I've done it once. I've not tried homemade pasta. Bobby is more into uh, canning things.
Let me see if I can see the comments. Hang on, I can't.
He's curious if we make jam jelly
Jam,
preserves.
jelly, preserves, or homemade pasta. We have not made jelly in a long time, but we used to make it a lot. So maybe we'll make some more sometime soon. But yeah, we used to can it. It's pretty easy because you don't have to even water bath can it. Actually, you just get it hot, you make your jelly, and then you'll flip it upside down and let it seal, and it seals, and it's really easy. So if you want to start with a project, that'd probably be a good one. And then homemade pasta. I haven't made any in a while, but I do. I have the pasta attachment for the KitchenAid, and so I do make homemade pasta sometimes, and it's really good. It's really not hard either. It's just flour and egg and oil, and you mix it all together. So it's not complicated. And you really don't have to have a pasta machine. If you just want to make noodles, like just plain noodles, you can just roll it out real thin with a rolling pin and then slice them up.
Have you seen the new pasta makers at Walmart, or that actually they're on Amazon and other places? It's where they mix it. It's all mixed in the machine, and it rolls out the same machine.
I haven't. No, that sounds cool. But no, I just make my pasta by hand, look on the bar, and I just knead it. And then I have the machine that attaches to the KitchenAid that rolls it and cuts it.
I need to get one of those. I've got a KitchenAid. Welcome in, Nick. How are
They're
you?
really nice. Welcome, Nick.
Hello, Kissa. How are you doing? She is cooking meatloaf and garlic mashed potatoes, I believe.
Yep, meatloaf and garlic mashed potatoes is what we're doing here. Alright, so I'm going to add this in. You can do about one small onion or so. Or just like I said, it depends on how much onion you like. So if you like a lot, you can do more or cut back a little bit. So we're going to add that in. Then we're going to add in some bell pepper, some ketchup, and some crackers. If you have 10 quail that hatch in your incubator today, oh, how exciting. That is so fun. The little quail are so little and they're so cute. I've been wanting to get an incubator and hatch out some eggs this year, so that's a project I've been wanting to do, but I've never had quail. They're so tiny and cute, though. So next we're going to add in some ketchup and some peppers. You don't have to add peppers. My family really likes little mini or any kind of bell peppers in their meatloaf, so I'm going to do that. What do you like in your meatloaf, Sherry?
I usually do egg, saltine crackers, onion, bell pepper, salt and pepper, and whatever I choose to add to the sauce on top.
Alright, that sounds good. So pretty much kind of the same things I'm going to add here.
The last one I think I made, though, I put on the smoker, and it was really good. It was the first time I made a smoked meatloaf.
I bet that's delicious.
It was really good.
I bet that's so good.
Nick is now.
I don't really ever smoke things, but I love the smoke flavor when I eat it somewhere else. All the things on the smoker.
Yeah.
So good.
I think Nick's excited about being a quail daddy now.
I would be too. I love the little quail. They're just so adorable.
Getting Easter time always reminds me when I was a kid, my parents would buy, you could go to like the local feed store.
Yeah.
And buy the little dyed baby Easter chickens. And they would be dyed Easter chickens. You know, but you can't.
I don't think I ever saw those.
More. Welcome in, Belinda and Chuck. It's good to see you guys. And thanks for the share.
Yeah, thank you. It's good to see you here.
But,
So.
Of course, I mean they weren't very big chickens. I think they were like little bantams. They were very small, but they were so cute.
Yeah.
And I
Oh,
would
that's so
love to
cute.
find some for my grandbabies, but I don't. I guess it's just not something that's done anymore.
Yeah, I have never seen those before, but I know that the chicks in Tractor Supply this time of year are really hard to resist. Every time I go in there, it's just like they're so cute, and they have this breed and that breed, and it's hard to resist. But
Uh, our granddaughter would love to add to her animal collection. She wants a rabbit, but we haven't been convinced yet. Ah,
all right, so there's my my pepper in there, and then my ketchup.
so you actually mix ketchup in it?
I do. We do put some ketchup in there, or you can use tomato sauce.
Wow!
Either one. Um, and
I don't
actually, I
think I've
forgot to
ever
do tomato
seen
sauce
that.
this week. I should have done that. Now, I just get my hands in here and do this.
I think
Um,
that's the first time I've seen ketchup actually mixed in it in the
we
actual.
do it quite often. Sometimes we do sauce if we have sauce, but sometimes we just do ketchup and it
Wow!
works really
I'm gonna
well.
have to try that.
And I forgot to put my saltines in here. So I'll get this mixed up first. So I just get my hands in here and break it up and
Hey,
start
that's the only
mixing
way to
it
do it.
together. That's the best way. I mean, I know it grosses some people out, so you can use a spoon if you want, but when I'm watching people make it on YouTube videos or something with a spoon, and I'm just like, it doesn't seem as efficient to me. Like, this just works so much better.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Chuck, she is cooking meatloaf, and she'll also be throwing in some garlic mashed.
Garlic mashed potatoes. Yeah, very. Meatloaf was super popular in the 1960s. So.
Man, I got to looking on there, and I was like going through and deciding what I was going to make. And those molded Jello salads, I
I've
promise,
seen those so much in my research and looking at ideas, and
they
it's like,
keep popping up, and I was like, nah.
yeah, they no, I don't think they're my thing. But they were so popular, and they would even do savory ones. Like they would do sweet ones for dessert, but they would even put savory stuff and make like
Yeah,
a savory one. And she's like, no, I don't think so.
I've never had quail, Nick. I've never tried it. I have tried rabbit before. I have branched off
Yeah,
it.
I've never had quail either.
Uh, yes, ma'am, Miss Virginia. She put ketchup in that meatloaf. It was a first for me. I'm gonna have to try it now. I'm curious. Um, but you know, there were some recipes that defined the '60s. And
Yeah,
it was that Lipton onion soup
yep.
dip.
The onion soup
Did you
dip
see
was
that?
a big one.
And then also the desserts and salads encased in gelatin, but
Yep.
meatballs and grape jelly. Now that kind of threw me.
Yes. Now we have had those before. We actually, mom used to make them a lot.
Really?
People around here would make them a lot for parties and stuff with like grape jelly and put them in the crock pot. They're actually good.
Now, I have put ketchup on top of my meatloaf.
And
Uh,
then I've seen also where the Swedish meatballs were kind of popular with like the white sour cream sauce.
yeah, chicken a la king, fondue,
Yes, chicken a la king. Those, I almost made chicken a la king or Swedish meatballs, but I changed my
uh,
mind.
stuffed celery and cherry tomatoes,
Yeah, and pigs in a blanket.
asparagus
Or
roll
they,
up.
I was gonna say, yeah, they made like the pigs in a blanket like with asparagus stuffed in it.
Um, did you pull up any of the dinner menus and look at them?
No, I don't believe so.
Like, um, this was at a place called Jenny's or Gianni's. Yeah, Gianni's Diner. Um, they had back then you could get honey dipped chicken. This was their platters: honey dipped chicken, breaded chicken gizzards, a surfer's delight, a fisherman's delight, and a turn me loose. which was a catfish and jalapeno hush puppies.
Oh wow.
Jen puts ketchup in her meatloaf and on top. You
Yeah,
guys,
we put it in and on top too.
that is so got to go on my meal list. Nick
And
said
then
barbecue sauce mixed in is good. It's not bad.
yeah, I haven't done that, but I would imagine that would be good.
Yeah, Nick, thanks for coming in. You have a
Thanks for
great
coming
day.
in, Nick. Have an awesome day.
Tell your wife we said hello. Um,
And now
David,
I'm just shaping this into the crock pot, so
do
I
you
just
like
don't
fill the
ruin it.
actual bottom of the crock pot?
Do I what?
Do you like take it from side to side in the crock pot?
Yeah, this is 2 pounds, so it's filling from side to side. If you were doing 1 pound, it probably wouldn't. You'd want to shrink it up a little bit, or it'd be too thin.
Yeah. David said tuna noodle casserole.
Tuna noodle casserole. And my mom actually really liked tuna noodle casserole. Well, she wasn't born in the '60s, but my great grandma would used to make it a lot, so she probably learned it that time. But it was pretty popular.
You know, in
And
this,
they did a lot of like dinner parties or like parties where they would do appetizers and stuff. And so they did lots of different appetizers and spreads full of different bite-sized foods, cheese balls and meatballs and like wrapped little smokies and all that kind of stuff.
I love me some wrapped little smokies. Okay, does anybody in the chat want to guess what the most popular snack was in 1960? Now, I know this is not going to reach everyone. I'm a 77 baby. So, anybody out there that knows what the most popular snack was in 1960? I have never heard of it. It's something that Nabisco put out. Um, Evidently, they must not sell them anymore. Miss Virginia may know.
And then I'm just gonna put more ketchup on top as this sauce.
No, David, not popcorn. It was something called chippers. 1960, something called chippers. I've never heard of those.
I have never either. I've seen some weird snacks though that they had on that list for 1960.
In 61 is when they developed a technique for tenderizing beef, which they were able to patent it. And it was injecting something in there. It was an enzyme that they made from papaya directly into the bloodstream of the living animal.
Alright, so I'm just spreading this out. So my sauce is super simple. I know a lot of people make a sauce with like different ingredients, but we just put ketchup straight on top and it works.
No,
And
that's usually what I've done.
So I'm just gonna put this in the crock pot. Now normally I would just bake this, and you bake it like an hour or over an hour until I just insert my thermometer until it's like 160.
Uh-huh.
But I'm gonna do it in the crock pot today because it is 2:23, and I don't need to eat this right now. If I put it in the oven right now, it would be done in like an hour and a half, and I don't need to eat at 4 o'clock. So we're gonna put it in the crock pot. It's supposed to take like 3 hours on high, so that would be about 6:30. Mine may even cook a little bit quicker than that because our crock pot runs real hot. So I'm going to stick that in there.
Okay, while she's doing that, anybody want to guess what food groups, or food, not groups, but foods came out in the 1960s? While we're getting on to the mashed potatoes. Y'all drop your comments if you know anything that came out.
And if you all want to, if you have something you want to talk about or talk about what you made while I peel the potatoes, feel free, because this is not going to be the most interesting thing ever. Normally I would have some of these peeled, but I kind of got busy earlier and didn't get them done. So, and you really don't have to peel them too, especially if you want to do red potatoes. You wouldn't even have to peel them. You wouldn't have to peel them with these potatoes either, but some of my family members might not like that too much, so I'll try to please them today.
Hello, Jeanette. Welcome in.
Hi,
Or
Jeanette.
it could be. It's not on my list, but that's possible. Um, I know Sprite and Gatorade came out in the 60s. Let's check on RC here.
Yep.
Any other guesses out there?
I know RC is kind of an older pop, but I can't remember what year it came. I don't know what year it came out exactly.
RC came out in 1905.
Wow.
Yes, it was
Older than I
created
thought it
by
was.
a pharmacist, Mr. Claude A. Hatcher,
Hmm.
and it's still known for its rich flavor, naturally sweet taste of pure cane sugar. Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know it was that old.
All right, no other guesses. Pringles, Pop
Okay.
Tarts, Doritos, Starburst, Chips Ahoy, and Ruffles. Anybody want to guess on some cereal? There's four of them listed on here. That came out, and they are kid friendly. Put it that way. That's what they say anyway. They're adult friendly at my house, but you know. Yeah, David, Pop Tarts, Pringles, Amy, Cheerios. Let me see. When did Cheerios come out? 1941, Shannon. Captain Crunch is one, David. You mean Golden Grams? You mean Mayo, Miss Virginia? Golden Grams came out in the 70s, in 1976. Um, it was Fruit Loops, Honeycomb, Captain Crunch, Lucky Charms. Um, let's see. Trix came out in 54. Maypost cereal. Huh. Let me see.
I have never heard of that one.
I've never heard of it either. Maypost cereal was developed by Maltex. Um, it came out in 51. Let's see, corn flakes. I can't talk. I'll tell you a cereal I miss, and that is Post Toasties.
What is it?
Post Toasties. They were out several years ago, and they've disappeared. I love that.
Never
Cornflakes
had
came
those.
out in 1894, and it was originally made with wheat. That's interesting. Um, it was created by Will Kellogg for patients in the Battle Creek Sanitarium, where he worked with his brother John Kellogg. Um, let's see. Anybody want to hit on fashion trends?
Oh, those were fun. I like the 50s and 60s style clothes.
Jack's pants, stirrup pants, bell bottoms, and pantsuits. Mini skirts, pencil skirts in plaid. Button down shirts, turtlenecks, chunky knit sweaters, short, shapeless shift dresses in pastels or bright colors. The Youthquake movement, which I've never heard of. Yeah, you're right, Shannon. Bell bottoms come out with something called baby doll clothing. Anybody heard of the Youthquake movement? Um, Levi's. My husband is a huge Levi 501 fan. That's all he'll actually wear in jeans. Levi's became popular in the 60s. Tie dyes. All right, the tie dyes, the earliest examples of tie dyes in the Far East, 5th century AD. From 500 to 810 AD, the earliest surviving examples of pre Columbian tie dye in Peru. Um, Fashion icons. All right. Bridget Bardot, I may not be saying that right. Mary Quant, Jackie Kennedy.
Yep.
Kennedy dressed with class and she dressed with style. And I'll tell you another one that reminds me of her that dresses with class, carries herself with elegance is Melania Trump.
Yes.
Both of them ladies
So classic and elegant.
carried their self along with the title that they carried.
Mm-hmm.
They looked the part.
Yes.
They were very elegant, wonderful dressers. Go ahead. Looks like you got your potatoes peeled.
Oh no, I'm good. I'm just gonna wash them and chop them now.
Oh,
That's
okay.
pretty basic. Keep going.
Bobby socks.
Oh yeah, those were popular.
When did Bobby socks come
And
out?
they would wear those like with a circle poodle skirt.
Yes. They originated as far back as the mid 30s, and their popularity peaked in the 50s. The economy back in the 60s, people's payrolls increased by 32%. The government tax revenues grew by 65% from 1965 to 1970. Prices. The cost of a stamp or the cost of a new home was $16,500. And I read somewhere where if your home you got into the $40,000 range, you were considered to have a huge house. Is probably what you had. You could get a stamp for 4 cents. A gallon of gas was 31 cents for a gallon of regular.
Wow.
A dozen eggs, 57. A gallon of milk was 49 cents. Anybody want to guess how much $5 in 1960 was worth in purchasing power? $5 in 1960 is equivalent to purchasing power to about $46.72 today.
All right, so now for these garlic mashed potatoes here, real quick. Like I said, this is my family's favorite recipe. So put potatoes in here. Okay, so you'll put your potatoes. You can really do as much or as little as you want or need. And then several cloves of garlic. So I think I put like 5 or 6. Put them in here. Cover them with water, and then put them in the crock pot. I actually have a full recipe on this on my blog. So there's a post about all of the exact measurements and directions. But put them in the crock pot and cook them until you're ready, and drain off the water. And then your standard mashed potatoes, smash them up, add in your cream, your salt, your pepper. And you can also, if you want to make these quicker, you can do them in the Instant Pot too. Cook them for like 10-15 minutes on high pressure in the Instant Pot, and then do the same thing.
Sounds good. Yeah, you're close, David. Close to 50. It was 46 something. You can get a glass of Coke or a bottle for about a nickel. Can you imagine now? You go to Walmart. What is it for 20 ounce? $1.98.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can like it's over $2 a lot of places just to get one.
Yeah. I love my Instant Pot.
Oh, I do too. Yeah, it's so good for so many things.
Go buy you a pound of chicken for about 29 cents, which they say is about $1.54 per pound today, which I'm going to say that's off. I'm going to say it's higher than that.
Yeah, I know, because it's like a good sale price. Sometimes you could get it only like 99 cents a pound.
Okay, now this was they compared this price from 45 cents a pound in the 60s for ground beef to 2014, it was $4.13 a pound.
Wow.
Thanks for coming in, Chuck. Yeah, Melinda will be after you. David, you would love your Instant Pot. They're lifesavers.
They really are. So I said I'm not really cooking this in the classic way that most people would have cooked it in 1960, but same classic recipes, and we can kind of adapt them to our needs today.
Yeah. In the 60s, the federal minimum wage, anybody want to guess what that was? A whole dollar. And a loaf of bread would cost you
Oh my.
23 cents.
Wow.
But anyway, I'm going to jump in here and throw what I made up here.
Awesome.
It's just a quick video and it's silent. I used the Carb Quick instead of the flour.
I was at Walmart yesterday and I forgot to grab that. I'm going to have to look for that.
I love it. I'm on my second box that I bought. Then I put, it was a cup and a half of that. These are something that's supposed to be called cheese straws. They come out in the 60s. But since I used this Carb Quick instead of flour to try to cut back and be more keto friendly and low carb, it made them kind of spread out. So it made them take on the shape of a flat breadstick. The taste is still there. The crunchy, like, whatever you want to call it, is still snacky type is still there. It takes a stick of butter that was supposed to be softened, but I sort of melted it. But anyway, and then it's supposed to be a half a pound of cheddar cheese, which is probably why I didn't get the true orange color of it, because I haven't been to the grocery store, so I was out of just straight cheddar. So I used a little mix and match, some little Mexican Fiesta, a little bit of mozzarella, a little bit of Parmesan. I just threw bits and
Hey, it works. We do that all the time. We don't go to the grocery store like all the time, so we try
pieces.
to make do with what we have.
And you put some salt, about a half teaspoon of salt, and then I didn't put what it called for cayenne pepper because that is something that varies for people, and that's something you adjust for your own taste. So I just
Okay.
kind of shook some in there, but it gave it a really nice flavor. Yeah, Shannon says she does that too, and I know she would do it on the cayenne because she's not a spicy uh, liking person. Hello, Paul. Welcome in.
Hey,
Um,
Paul.
but anyway, I have noticed though on this carb quick when you're making it, when you're making the cheddar biscuits, and it calls for like a quarter cup of water and a quarter cup of the heavy whipping cream. I have noticed that's never enough. So I always wind up adding a little bit of extra heavy whipping cream. So in
What
this,
kind of flour does that Carb Quick have in it?
I don't know. Let me go see if I can look it up.
I was thinking you may have said it had coconut flour, and coconut flour takes a lot of
I can't
moisture.
remember um, what I said. But anyway, I had to add some water. So I added probably between around a third a cup to a half a cup of water. I just started off to get it to even form. Uh, it's made out of wheat. So it tastes like flour. It's 90% lower in carbs than any leading baking mix. It's made with some kind of something called carbulose. It's high in protein and fiber, low in sodium. But you just rolled them out, and they're supposed to stay in a narrow shape. But yeah, and I sprayed my counter with no stick spray instead of putting flour down. So that might have had something to do with it too. I don't know, but it saved from putting actual flour in the getting it on them. But anyway, I'll skip ahead. That's what they turned out like.
Oh, they look good.
They are good.
They look
Get
delicious.
a little bit. It's just like a crunchy, almost like a cookie, but you
Ooh,
still get the cheese taste and you get the butter taste, and you get a little bit of bite of cayenne at the
oh, that sounds really
back.
good.
So they turned out good, and you know, I'll post the actual recipe when I post the video.
That sounds really good.
But
Yeah, I'll try to get my exact meatloaf recipe up, but the exact recipe for the garlic mashed potatoes is already on my blog. So.
well, does anybody have any questions? Marinara sauce might be good. That they
Oh, I
put
bet that would be good. Good thing.
that's kind of sugar free.
Yeah.
I'm trying to behave and stay away from a lot of. I know I won't totally because I'm a big starch head and a bread person. So I'm trying to find ways around. I know I'm fixing to go buy groceries when I get done with this live, and
Well, they have one at Aldi and one at Walmart, and the Simply Nature organic at Aldi, and then the organic one it's over here. Hang on, here you go. The organic one at Walmart is just like the Great Value Organic, and both of those I think have no added sugar or less than 1 gram of added sugar in there. So,
wow. I
but
am
yeah,
gonna buy the fruit, and I'm gonna try to stay away from the general snacks that I usually fill up the cabinet with. Which I do have to buy some things
you
because
still gotta have snacks. You just gotta choose
I have
the right one.
kids and I have grandkids, so and I have a husband that likes to nibble.
Mhm.
So I'll have
Yeah.
to do a few things. But he is wanting me to buy fruit, so
Fruit is good. Fruit is not like
that's gonna
fruit is
help.
always good. So if you can keep a lot of fruit on hand, that's great.
I don't know. My
But yeah,
daughter just texted me and said we need to go to the Amish store one time. They
I
have
wish we had one of those
lots
around
of
here, but
furniture.
I've been in them when we were traveling and stuff. We don't really have any close by, which is kind of a bummer.
We got one in Redwater, which is fairly close to Texarkana. But she says they have lots of furniture, and she's redoing
Oh,
her bedroom, so she'll be
I
digging in.
love it. Yeah. But kind of going back to the 60s food and stuff, I think it's so different or kind of cool to think about their culture to then was they would have big meals. They would have, a meal with their protein and they would have two or three sides and they would have a dessert and this was like kind of an every night, thing. And today we just kind of were like all about quick and like one pot or, one dish or fast food and
We
what
were
is
talking about that yesterday, actually, and we were sitting at the dinner because I actually cooked dinner at home. We didn't go out to eat, and so we were sitting there talking. I was like, and I was talking about the live coming up and stuff and researching. I said, when you research it out and you look at it, you didn't see heavily loaded plates.
Yeah, that's another big thing. Like they had, like I mean everything you think of. They had the carb, they had the protein, they had the vegetables, they even had dessert, but like their portions were smaller. Like they didn't have. And I've read about that even in the past, not really researching for this, but talking about how they kind of kept their weight loss under control is because they had like these smaller portions and they ate
Yeah,
a
that's so,
lot. They ate all the different foods, but they just didn't eat tons of that different food.
and it's so funny because we were talking about. I said, even looking at the pictures and looking at different things, you didn't see a lot of big people. And I mean, when they served fruit with their dinner, it was in a little bowl, and it
Yeah.
might be half a pear or half a peach.
Yeah, I know their portions definitely were not very big,
They weren't.
and they would
And
have like one piece of cake or whatever.
they
Um,
say that an actual adult size portion, now I don't know if this is true or not, it's what I've heard, but an actual adult size portion is a kid's meal at what you get in town. The kids' meals are actually supposed to be the adult size portions. Some of those places, that makes sense.
yeah, I mean some of them like just the other day we ate at Cracker Barrel with friends, and we eat there. I mean we don't eat out super often, but when we do eat out, Cracker Barrel is one that we eat out, and they have this meal like their chicken tenders or their smoky glazed ones, and I love them. But you get the adult size, and it's literally like eight pieces of chicken, and it's just like so much food. And then the other day I got a kid's version of the shrimp, and it was like it's enough food without being so much that you overeat or can't eat it and have to take it home. Like,
It's like one place we go to here. I don't know if anybody on the chat has ever heard of an Osaka's. It's a yes, Paul, I'm from Texarkana. Well, south of Texarkana. It is a Japanese hibachi grill. One portion, just one order. It's almost impossible to eat. If I go with my daughter or if I go with my husband, we split.
yeah, there's
And
some.
you
I know me
still
and mom would do
barely
that a lot.
finish
Like
it.
split a meal because the adult size portions are huge.
They put noodles, they put rice, they put meat, they put, if you order the vegetables, they put the vegetables on there. They also offer you super salad. And I'm talking, it's a massive plate. It's really big. Where are you from, Paul? And but we split, and so we walk out. By the time we get, she usually drinks water. I'm usually drinking a soda or a tea. By the time we leave and we have split, we can usually walk out of there with just a hair over $20. And you ate at the actual grill and got the actual grill experience, and
Yeah,
still not eat all of your food.
right.
And
It's crazy how
it
these
is
portions
crazy.
are. It's really
And
crazy.
I don't know. it's a lifestyle change. You got to do it yourself. You just
And a
got to.
lot of people find success with eating smaller meals, like
Yeah.
more frequently.
I've heard a
So
portion is the size of your fist.
yeah.
That's how you should gauge your portions.
Mhm.
And but whether that's true
And
or
I've
not,
heard like your hand, like about this much meat or whatever, but like your vegetables should be like two
yeah, you
big
should eat.
palms. So.
Yeah,
And then I think it's kind of interesting to think about the culture too back then, just depending on where you were or how much you had and stuff. I know when Nana grew up in the '60s, and they lived in the country, didn't have as much, and so they cooked everything from scratch. They had the cheaper meals. They ate a lot of beans. They ate the cow that they grew and the pig that they grew,
mm-hmm.
and all that good stuff. But then you looked at the people who maybe lived in the city or had a little bit better job and had more money, and they ate more of the convenience items and got the treats and the kind of started to get into the pre-made food because that's kind of when that stuff started to become popular. I know that's when the canned soup very much became popular. Um, but going back to like they eat, kind of ate everything and had portion control. They didn't have like microwaves weren't invented yet at that time either, and so they couldn't just throw like a microwave dinner in the oven. They actually had or microwave a um, a like TV dinner in the oven or in the microwave. They actually had to cook something to eat. So.
Hampton, Arkansas. Miss Virginia says a portion of meat should fit in your palm. And
Mm-hmm.
one thing too back then, it was more of the husband worked, the wife stayed home. He come in, they had a scheduled dinner time. It was pretty much on schedule.
Yeah, the same time like every night.
And it's like our generation, you're gonna eat dinner from anywhere from 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock.
And
And
most of the time, they don't even sit down and eat together. They're just like
yeah,
one person eats then, and then the next, and they don't know what actually sitting down to eat is. So we don't have a scheduled time every night. Every night is kind of different, but we always try most every single night to sit down together and eat. At the table. It may not be the same time every night, but it's always together. So
yeah. And I mean that's how we are here. And then Shannon just said our time is all over the place. Ours is too. You know,
yeah, ours
it,
is too.
it's not only the food culture has changed, it's the lifestyle, the way you
Mhm.
live, the way you have more of both spouses are out working, or you have this one works nights, this one works days. It's just a whole different world from
Yeah,
back.
or you have kids that are in different sports, and this kid has a sport at this time, and this kid has a sport in this time, and so they're all
And some
running in and
people are
out.
just constantly on the run. And Miss Virginia said dinner was on the table at 5 p.m. And there was probably more eating at home
Yeah,
and eating.
definitely.
And it was a whole different um, way of life. Ours is now, well, hey, if I can't get home or if I'm tied up in town and it's late, I don't want to cook. I'm in the habit of calling, hey, what do you want to eat? I'm just going to pick up pizza. I'm going to pick up KFC. I'm going to pick up all this stuff. And it's more unhealthy than
Yeah,
eating a home cooked.
I think we kind of, as a culture today, a lot of people are just like, oh, I don't know what to cook, or oh, it's 5 o'clock and I don't have anything ready. Let's just look at fast food. But then they make going out to eat more of a treat and a plan, like it was something that they would do for fun and a special occasion, and not just like, oh, I don't have supper fixed. You know, let's run out and get something. They started early. Like, I mean, we are blessed to have like instant pots and crock pots and things that make it convenient for us. But they would start early and have like their big pot of soup simmering on the stove or their roast cooking in the oven for hours. Like, they really had to plan ahead and start early in the day.
And back then, breakfast wasn't a bowl of cereal.
No, breakfast was like a full meal, like toast and eggs and
Uh,
coffee and everything.
Lunch was a meal.
Yeah.
They cook like 3 meals a day. And now it's just, breakfast is whatever you can get if they even eat breakfast.
Right. And
And
then if you work outside at home, usually you're eating lunch outside. Most people don't take it with them. Most people get something somewhere.
yeah,
So
and but it's a whole different world.
it is. It
And
really is.
I know that has affected the way that we eat and the probably,
I
just
think we can learn many things from the good from their culture and how they ate and their meals and all that good stuff. Sitting down at a designated time and you know cooking our food and not grabbing fast food and portion control and all that good stuff.
but since now compared to I know the cost of food has went up in the grocery store, but so has the cost of eating out.
Yep.
And if we just go just with our family of four, uh, just taking my two kids that are at home, I have one that's married. Um, it's nothing if we go out to Longhorn. If we go, out, it's nothing to lay $70 and $80 down for one meal.
Oh yeah, eating out is so expensive.
And I added it up one time. I sat down and I went through just what was ran through our checking account, whether it's by debit card, whatever, what we ate out in 1 month. It was unreal. I'm talking knocking on $1,000, if not, give or take. I'm
Yeah,
like,
eating out is
how many
really
groceries I
expensive.
could buy with that, you know? And it's just a convenience thing.
Yeah, it really is. I know it's one of the big things you can change in your budget. You may not be able to really change much how much your electric is or all these different things that you have to have, but you can definitely make a change, so much of a change just in your food budget if you just cook at home instead of eating out.
Virginia said McDonald's was a real treat for our kids. 10 cents for a burger back then. Now, just a regular plain, what do they even call them? Kids meal size burger. What are
Mhm.
they, juniors there? Uh, it probably cost you going on $2.
Oh yeah.
You know,
It's like fast food isn't even cheap anymore. I mean, if you
yeah,
take, like if you get a meal at fast food and get your drink, you're probably going to spend almost $10 a person. And then in
easy.
that case, you could just go to Cracker Barrel or Panera or somewhere better and get food.
I went through a fast food chicken place the other day, and which my middle son's almost 22, so he's still considered a growing boy, I guess. And he's like, "Mom, I want the number seven, or not number seven, number two, whatever it is, seven tenders." Okay, $15 and something
Wow.
for that and his drink, which the drink comes with the meal, and I'm like, "Oh my goodness!" And then I bring it home, and he's still not full, and I'm like, "Dude." Virginia said, "Cherry, a kid's meal is $5.89 now." Yes, they are.
Wow.
They are. They are very expensive. And but anyway, times have changed,
Yeah,
and
they definitely
we
have.
unfortunately change with them. Sometimes it's
Yep.
not for the better. We should stay with the old ways on
Yeah,
some
you can
things.
learn a lot from them.
You can, you can. But I wonder what it would be like if we tried to apply it.
Yeah, it would make such a difference. So
It would
some
throw
people
some of
wouldn't.
us into shock. It really would. It would shock some of us. But anyway, um, this hour has went by so fast. I've enjoyed it,
It has. It's been so fun.
and I'm so glad to have you as a part of the
I
recipe book.
am so glad you offered. It was so fun, and I'm so glad to be here. And I'll try to have my setup fixed next week so
Girl,
it'll
it was no
actually
problem.
be
It was
better.
awesome. It looked great, and
Yeah.
you're gonna have a great meal tonight. It looks like. I think I'm gonna to do a Philly cheesecake casserole. Cheesecake. I always do
Oh,
that. Cheese steak
that sounds
casserole.
good. Oh, that sounds
And,
really good.
I don't know. May throw some kind of potatoes and some green beans in there with it.
Yeah.
But
What? This is gonna be. I think it's gonna be yummy. It's already. I already smell the meatloaf. It smells amazing.
I am so getting the stuff to make meatloaf. You've got me convinced. That's going on the list. I'm going to make it, and I'm going to put ketchup in it. And thanks to everyone in the chat for coming in. Thanks,
Yeah,
Shannon.
thank y'all so much.
Super Grow is this Thursday and at 5, so it'll be from 5 to 7. So if you'd like your channel showcased, drop me a comment, and we'll be giving away a couple of gift cards. We have some special guests. Journey Along with Shannon will be there. Suburban Homesteader Sandy will be there. Mike and Terry from MT Homestead will be there, and they'll come on around 6 or 6:15, and they're going to share some tips with how they've grown their channels and things that you can do. And so we're looking forward to that, and it's been a blast today. Next week we're going to do the 1970s. I'm not sure what we're going to get into there.
That should be fun. Can't wait.
Yeah. So anyway, thanks to everyone for coming.
Thank you all so much, and I hope y'all have a great day.
I'm sure we'll bump into some of y'all somewhere out in YouTube land this week. But I guess we're going to sign off, and I will talk with y'all later.
Bye.
Y'all have a good day.
Have a great day.